Hi, this is Andy Scott with North Shore Apartments and Condos. We're walking into a really nice one-bedroom at 824 Wesley, number 2. As we walk in, if we turn to our right, we see part of the living room. In front of us is a little storage area and a sliver of the bathroom. Before we walk into the apartment, I want to show you the entry area, which has coat hooks. And the entry area is probably about 6 feet by 3 feet or 4 feet. Beautiful hardwood floors throughout this apartment. As we go to our right, we walk into the living room. If we turn to our right again, we see a nice big dining room, which is attached to the kitchen. But before we get there, I'll show you the living room, which is a nice big room. It's probably 13 feet by 10.5 or 11. Again, the beautiful hardwood floors. The windows are new and facing east. There is a ceiling fan. The finish on the apartment is flawless. So the walls are flawless. The painting is flawless. Trim is really nice. A very light and airy apartment. We're looking out onto Wesley. Let's see if I can show you here, which is a super quiet street. So it's very quiet. And like I said, you do have the newer windows. From the windows, we look back, and there we get a better look at the dining room, and we see the width of the apartment, which is quite a bit. And she has big furniture in the living room. So it's a nice big room, beautiful hardwood floors. As we walk toward the dining room, we look back and we see the entry area. And we walk a little further, and we get our first look at the kitchen, which has been remodeled. Before we go into the kitchen, however, we'll show you the dining room, which is probably 9 by 11, something like that. It's a nice, significant room. Windows are facing west here. We're still well before noon. I think it's about 10:15, so we're not getting a lot of light, from the west. But there's a backyard to this building. I'm going to pull this up, which is really nice. So it's a manicured backyard. You see the garbage cans over to the right. It's a beautifully maintained building. If I go to the wall, the far wall of the dining area, again, we see the newer windows facing west. Room for lots of furniture, including a dining table, some shelves. And as I walk toward the kitchen, get another look at the living room. But I turn around and you can see she has a little desk area, a little workstation area. So it's really a nice living and dining room combination. The kitchen is also quite large for a vintage apartment and beautifully rehabbed. Start with the laminated wood floors, granite countertops, full-size dishwasher, stainless steel sink. The faucet has a hose attachment, full-size stove, and microwave. Lots of cabinets, and a nice big stainless steel refrigerator. We also have something for cookie sheets over on the corner, so a nice cabinet on the corner that can be used for pots and pans, or she's got jams and jellies in there. Okay, let's start with the fridge, which the top is the freezer. And you can see it's a nice big space with shelves on the right. Underneath, big fridge with shelves on the right, crisper drawers on the bottom, butter dish on the right. And as we go across, we see that there's good counter space. And again, it's a granite countertop and a beautiful tile backsplash throughout. If I go right behind me, we see how clean the tiles are and will really help keep the kitchen clean, and that goes all the way around. Lots of cabinets on top, but also lots of cabinets underneath. Underneath we have drawers, which are super convenient. I'm going to just open the middle, but the lower cabinets are nice and deep and great for pots and pans or smaller appliances. even a microwave would fit under there. So very, very helpful. The cabinets above are standard cabinets, 2 feet high, 3 shelves. The shelving's about 11 or 12 inches deep. Again, we have that great tile backsplash. Behind this, there's an outlet. There's another outlet over here. So you have lots of outlets and lots of counter space. In the corner, oh, that's where she's putting her cookie sheets. And again, we have the deep cabinet underneath and a drawer on top. The stove is a full-size stove, as is the microwave. The microwave is not brand new. Obviously, it's an occupied apartment. Everything will be clean, but they're super nice. And internally, also needs just a little cleaning, but again, full size, ready to use. I think we have the deep corner cabinet, which is really nice. You can put a lot in there. And then more cabinets by the microwave. Above the microwave would have no shelves. It's a little less than a foot square, just empty space. Okay, we swing around from the stove. The back door will take you out to the backyard, which is really very nice, and down to laundry and storage, and there's both in this apartment. More counter space, a little spot underneath the counter for what she's got, a little trash receptacle. The dishwasher, full size, ready to be used. Again, the counter space is great. Get another shot at the backsplash. You have a ledge above, which is really nice. The windows are facing west. And then you have this stainless steel sink, which will check the water pressure, which is all the way, whoops, to the left. Good water pressure, just plate hot, and underneath it's nice and dry and ready to use for storage. Shut that down. You see it's drained nicely. Really a fantastic kitchen. Lots of cabinet space, lots of storage, beautiful appliances, full-size appliances, dishwasher, and laminated hardwood floors. So from the kitchen, we can walk out to the dining area, the dining room, or we could come around to the living room. And we're headed back toward the entry. But before we get there, we can see our first glance at the bedroom, the bath, and before we get there, we have this little storage area with shelves, which she's using sort of as a linen closet. If we look at the bath, we see it's got newer tile on the floor, a tank toilet, great tiling all the way around and all the way up. There's 2 light sources. We have boxes in the ceiling, and light fixture over the medicine cabinet, and a mirror. Beautiful sink. Underneath we have good storage. I'll show you the medicine cabinet real quick. There we go. And again, you've got 2 lights over the mirror so you can see yourself. Nice outlet in the corner. Again, we have the tank toilet. I'm expecting good water pressure. The building was rehabbed not too long ago, and we do have good water pressure. Underneath, nice and dry and able to be used as storage. Everything's draining nicely. And then we take a look at the shower area. Beautiful tiles. The tub is super clean. Glass block windows, which really lets a lot of light in, which is really nice. Check the water pressure here. So all the way to the hot. You see it's coming out nice. Good water pressure out of the shower, but you can see it's got a diverter for the wand. So we may have competing sources there. But if I flip this down, you can see the water pressure is great. You can even hear that the water pressure is great. and everything drains nicely. So I'm going to back out of the bath because it is a very bright, pretty, well thought out bath with lots of storage, beautiful sink, beautiful tiling. And the last thing I'll show you is they've cut out a shaft to the ceiling and installed a fan. That airflow really helps keep it clean. And if you look at the ceiling, it's flawless. So we come out of a great bath and we have the bedroom. Bedroom is a little bigger than average size with a window facing east. If we walk in, this is a queen-sized bed, nice big bed. Now we have some big furniture, room for some big furniture on the side. If we walk out, we're looking out onto Wesley. And again, we're facing east. Super easy street parking around here. And then we take a look at a very big closet. The bedroom also has a ceiling fan, which is really helpful. The closet's really quite deep, so it's probably 4 feet deep, which is unusual. And then at least 4 feet across with a hanging bar, shelves, and lots of extra space. If I turn back from the closet, show you the bedroom this way. And every room gets a lot of natural light, which is really nice. We'll come out of the bedroom, look at the storage area, get another glance at the bathroom, which is really super nice. Sort of get one last look at the living area, which I really like. It's so bright, so airy. And that will bring us back to the entryway and the front door. Thanks for watching.